Hi folks, Michael Lewis here for Art Lesson Videos. Remember this clunky thing? This is what we used to use to take out into the field to go paint. We'd put our pochade box in here, our brushes, our paint, all the goodies that we need to take into the field to go painting. But man, these backpacks are heavy, they're a hassle, and most of us don't walk 3 or 4 miles into the woods to go painting anymore. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate efficiency more. So let me show you how I go into the field now as a plein air painter. All you need is this and this.
Most of the places that I want to paint, I can see from the road. So when I see something that I want to paint, I find a safe place to pull over. This can be done in a SUV, or it can be done with any vehicle that has a hatchback on it, or even in a van. I'll put the timer on here so we'll see how long it takes to actually get started painting. I have my tripod and my pochade box already screwed together, and so all I have to do is pull that unit out and set it up, and it's also preset to the height that I like. You can also make small adjustments to your tripod out in the field if you need to. Put my canvas on the pochade box. Open up my paint box. Pull my palette out. My paints, my brush cleaner, my paper towel, and I'm ready to paint in less than a minute. I challenge anyone to beat that. And breaking your rig down takes about a minute to complete also. This is especially great in the wintertime when it's cold outside. You'll find yourself doing a lot more winter painting because it's so much more efficient. You'll actually find yourself doing a lot more painting in the summer too. So here's how I do it. This box is a contractor's toolbox. The brand name is a Plano Model 823. You can find this on Amazon or just do a Google search of it. I've looked at a lot of toolboxes to try to figure out which is the best box to use for painting, and this is the guy right here. It has a top tray for your palette. Then it has a second tray that you can put all your paint and brushes in, and then the bottom part of the box holds your brush cleaner, paper towels, and any other things you want to take with you into the field. But you have to make a couple alterations to this thing, and here's what you have to do. These handles right here get in the way of the palette, so you have to cut them off. Just take a hacksaw blade or even a reciprocating saw and cut the handles off level with these rails that are inside this tray, and then your palette's going to sit right on top of these rails. You'll want to have a piece of glass cut that's 9.5 by 19.5 and ask for the edges to be sanded. Glass companies do this all the time for shelving. So you can see here where the palette sits right on top of those rails. That's exactly 1 inch tall, so you can put some wood in there that's 1 inch tall and it'll help support that palette. Now you also have to cut this handle off. This is the second tray. And so you want to cut this handle even with this plastic line here, because you can see that this handle right now goes through the hole where the palette's going to be sitting. You can still pull these trays out of the box after you cut the handles off because there's grips on the ends of these things, so you don't really have to have these handles on here. So now I'll cut this other handle off. And now we'll load our box up. Here's my brush cleaner. What I've taken is just a Walmart container with a lid and put some bird screen in it and my brush cleaner. And then I have my brush cleaner with a sealed top that I can put in the bottom of the box. Now if I have to go away from my truck a ways, I only have to take one other thing. This is my watertight brush cleaner, and it'll hang on my pochade box if I have to go away from the truck. So here's my paint tray with my paint, my knives, and my brushes. Now I'll put my palette tray in, the palette on that, put the top on it. It's got these great clamps on each side so the unit can't come apart. And that's the box. Now there's also some prep with your pochade box. Here's my tripod. I have a Bogan tripod. I recommend that you buy a really good tripod because it's one of the tools that gets a lot of abuse. Here's my pochade box. I mount it to the tripod. This is before you go out. And then set the height that you like. so you don't have to do any of these things in the field. Now, as I was saying earlier, if you do have to go further away from your vehicle, you can remove this pallet from your pallet tray and mount it to your pochade box. I usually use these small bungee cords to secure the pallet to my pochade box. And then my brush cleaner mounts to the pochade box also. So you can see that this system allows you to still go away from your car if you want to. Now, the way I handle my canvas, I usually use a 12 by 16 canvas, and I divide it into 4 parts like this with this tape. And by doing this, it becomes 4 6 by 8 panels. And so I can do 4 different small studies with this 12 by 16 canvas, which fits on my pochade box. So if you're a plein air painter and your time is valuable to you, this is the most efficient way to set up, paint, and tear down in the field.